Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, it does not work without you guys. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. There you go. We are awoke. It's Thursday morning already. The week is just flying by. In fact, it's been a week since the NFL draft. A full freaking week. I don't know if you're having the same issue, but to me, it feels like I'm busier than I was before. It just doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. This morning I overslept. I overslept. I'll be honest with you. It has been raining like constantly for like the last 8 days, with the exception of yesterday. Thank God I got my grass cut. In the meantime, before the monsoon, it's going to rain today. It's going to rain tomorrow. I think it's going to rain into Saturday. I'm about ready to start building an ark. I mean, let's be honest. I'm about ready to build an ark. But anyway, we got so much work to do. I've got to get the packages out on the front porch for the mailman for all those shot glass racks and shot glasses for the channel memberships and things that are going out. And I've got a lot more left to build. Oh, man. I just got so much to do. So much to do. And my poor mailman, he's probably going to cuss me out because it's pouring down rain, and to have to get all those packages in his truck. I'm hoping that I'll hear the dog bark so that way I can go out and help him load it up, because it is going to be a mess. Of course, keeping my social distance. We'll keep the distance. But it was a week ago that we had the draft, and we all seem to feel good about what we did in the draft. The talking heads feel good about what we did in the draft. The only people that you hear bad things about what we did in the draft are from those Eagle fans, it seems. And it's almost comical, the venom that we're getting from the Eagle fans. At one side of the mouth, they're talking about how they did such great things in the draft. They got Carson weapons, all kinds of weapons. We're going to be great. And the other side, they keep coming at us because I think they're a little salty. And it's almost funny because as I overslept this morning, I finally woke up and I look at my phone. And here it is. I'm getting a message from Philly 500. Now, keep in mind, I'm on the East Coast, so the message was sent to me at 8:08 in the morning. He's on the West Coast, which is 3 hours behind. So this was 5:08 a.m. He's texting me saying, "You keep railing on the Birds. I'm got to expose your Cowboys today. I got to go after you, Mark. All this Eagle stuff, I got to go get you." Bro, really? You are literally up in the middle of the night thinking about me and the Dallas Cowboys and coming after me? Wow. I don't know if I should be scared or honored that I could literally get underneath your skin. Now, see, last night, okay, I'm going to tell this story because this is from my man Jet D, who's from Texas. I call him the most interesting man in the world. He's skydived. He's been a bull rider. He probably has been a bullfighter too. Jet, have you fought bulls too? I know you've ridden them. Have you been a bullfighter as well? But he was talking about some of these trolls, and he said that you're kind of honoring them by calling them trolls. He said what you need to call them are, with a C, chiggers, okay? He said, you probably don't know what a chigger is, being from Virginia. And I'm like, I know what a chigger is. It's that little red teeny bug. It's tiny, but it gets on your skin and it lays eggs and they crawl into your skin and stuff. And they're just annoying. Yeah, they itch, they burn, and you just can't get rid of these things. Chiggers. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm not going to give trolls that kind of power to think that they can get under my skin and affect me like that. I'll be honest. I enjoy messing with the trolls as much as they enjoy messing with me. But apparently, I'm that chigger that's up underneath the eagle's skin right now. Because you guys literally lose your mind at what I say. Isn't that kind of funny? It was, and I got a real question here before I get on to Stephen Jones. I'm watching first things first, as I'm getting my coffee together and getting my notes together and things and thoughts together for the tape, and I'm watching First Things First, and I see Nick Wright in his home. And his background and all that is all Kansas City Chiefs paraphernalia. They got Kansas City, banner up there. They got a newspaper of the Kansas City, and newspaper of Pat Mahomes with Super Bowl champion and everything else. I'm curious, was Nick Wright always a Kansas City Chief fan? Was he always a kid? I don't know. I don't know Nick Wright that well, but I'm curious, was he always a KC fan? Or is he one of those bandwagon fans? See, back in the 90s, there were, people didn't have jerseys like they do now. They had jackets. You had your starter jacket and stuff. And so in their closet, they'd have like a Giants, a 49ers, and a Redskin jacket, 80s. And by whichever team was winning, that's who they went with. Seriously. And I'm curious, was Nick Wright always a Kansas City Chief fan, or was he just on their bandwagon because they won? Real question. But then they went through and they were talking about Carson Wentz, and they were talking about Howie Roseman said it was uncomfortable talking to Carson Wentz about them drafting Jalen Hurts. Yeah, and I guess it's uncomfortable for you Eagle fans to be listening to me talk about that. But hey, just wait for the hatchet job from Philly 500. Just wait. See, I'm the chigger underneath Philly 500 skin. But anyway, back to my Dallas Cowboys, because that's what I've been trying to talk about. But for some reason, all you Eagle guys keep coming at me, and I just have to keep throwing the truth at you. Stephen Jones was on SportsCenter last night talking about the draft, as well as talking about the Dak Prescott contract situation. So let's go to SportsCenter, and we'll listen to what they have to say on that, and we'll comment afterwards.
Cowboys, for our purposes of this conversation, well, let's go director of player personnel, because, Stephen, that's what I want to ask you about. And congrats on a heck of a draft. I wonder how you best describe when you're sitting there and you're hoping maybe CD's on the board, and there he is. Like, when he's still there, what's the reaction within the room?
Well, for the majority of the draft leading up to our pick, we just were rolling along thinking there was no chance some of those top wideouts were going to be there. So we were more focused on some of the players we'd targeted that we thought would really be there. But you got out of the top 10 and there was no receiver picked. And then some teams, we had done our homework and thought might pick receivers, didn't pick them. And sure enough, you look up and a guy like C.D. Lamb sitting there, and it made it a really interesting visit. He was the best football player on our board, not to take away anything from the guys who were sitting there. But, we just had to follow our instincts and go with the best player.
Ed Werder was on with me last night, and he told me that you all were awfully pleased within the building about your draft. There's quite a bit of sentiment outside of your building that you all did pretty well. So as you sat there on Saturday when it's done, how satisfied were you as a group?
Everybody's going to feel good about their draft because you took them how they stood on your board. At the end of the day, we're going to know a whole lot more about everybody's draft in 3 to 4 years.
You're right about that.
I will say, different than normal, we did have, pretty much every step of the way, the luck of the draw, if you will, the guys falling to us. And it's always nice when, which is rare for us, that people outside the building feel good about it. We have been very fortunate, over the last 10 years that we've drafted well. And, I think we pulled it off. We'll just have to see.
I'll close with this, Stephen. I try not to ask the obvious question for
which
there's no answer. I'm not trying to trick anybody here. I'm just looking at Dak big picture, and we got an uncertain timeline with what's coming up next for when we get back to quote-unquote normal. How will things proceed in terms of a timeline as you guys try to figure out where things stand moving forward?
Dak's our guy. I mean, we think no one thinks more of Dak Prescott than Jerry Jones and myself.
Okay.
I know Mike, when he signed on for it, part of why he signed on was Dak Prescott. And, it's just getting it done. I mean, the bigger these deals get, Jerry and I've always found that to be the case in business. The bigger the dollars get, the harder they get. We believe in our track record of getting players signed. I totally believe we'll get Dak signed, at the right number that's good for Dak, good for the Cowboys, good for this team. And I think at the end of the day, the fact that, obviously we're getting some nice nice height for our draft. I think he's going to want to get in here and get with these players, whether it's CD Lamb or anyone else, and get together. He wants to win, and we've said all along, the only one who benefits more than Dak Prescott, if the Cowboys happen to be fortunate enough to win a championship, is probably the Jones family. So we're all motivated. We're all motivated to win. We will certainly want Dak to be happy, but we also want to surround him with great football players.
Stephen, I lied to you. I said I was going to talk to you 2 minutes, and we've long since run over that. So I'll let you get to the rest of your.
All right, so the question we have to ask here right now is, as Stephen Jones speaks, and like I said, when Stephen Jones talks, pay attention to Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones is not going to sugarcoat it. Stephen Jones, I've always said, pay attention, because he usually does not speak more. And it seems like more and more now, Stephen Jones is the front of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry's still there, but Jerry isn't there as much as he used to be. And during the Dez Bryant situation where everybody swore that Dez Bryant was coming back, I told you guys, he's not coming back, because you could see it in Stephen Jones's face. The mannerism that he had when it came to talking about Dez. It was just stone face. It was cold. It was just, no, we're done. And so from that standpoint, I knew that situation was definitely over with. But Stephen Jones talking about Dak Prescott, saying we're going to get the deal done. They're going to get the deal done. It's just a matter of time. I still believe it's going to be one of those things that they want to be able to have a press conference, with everybody there, so that way they have the imagery. If you just come out and say Dak Prescott's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and you don't have Dak and Jerry, they're not going to want to do that. And everybody can have all the speculation that they want. And right now we know that there's all kinds of stuff that's going on with starting quarterbacks. You're hearing that Jimmy Garoppolo is a little upset because there's word out that the 49ers were interested in Tom Brady. We know that Aaron Rodgers, there's rumors, of course, that Aaron Rodgers, there was a message sent to him, and he's pissed off about them getting Love, drafting Love, and moving up to draft Love. And, of course, we know that the Eagles are butthurt that they ended up drafting Hurts. So we look at all those situations here. It's great talk for sports talk radio and television and everything else. But the reality is the Dallas Cowboys are going to go as far as Dak Prescott takes them. That there is no other no other bullet in the chamber, that this is the guy that's going to lead them there. And this is the best fit that you have with this organization, with the type of offense that you have. You've got a lot of precise route running receivers. And Dak is that kind of guy. He's not the gunslinger, the Tony Romo, who scrambled around and basically drew it up on the dirt and would hit Dez Bryant, who wasn't disciplined in routes. Dak is, three-step, drop back, boom, hit him. Or throwing two guys to a spot. And that fits perfectly in that West Coast system. So it's just a matter of when. We all know that the Dallas Cowboys never do business like anybody else, Everybody else just goes ahead, signs the quarterback, and the next day you hear, boom, record-setting quarterback. The Cowboys love to be in the limelight. That being said, I need to go get my ass out in the shop because I got a lot of work to do. Because I've got a lot of emails that said, how do I order one? This is what I want. I know my website, it's terrible right now. Derek's bugging me because I need to get him more stuff. That's one of those things when I say I ain't got enough time. I'm trying to get him pictures of all of the channel members and stuff. He's like, I need better pictures of the racks, so I need to, hang them up on the wall before I send them out, snap pictures and send them to him. But we're going to have a new website, and the website, when you go on the home screen, it'll say Jobu Shop, and it'll have the link for Teespring. It'll have the link for all the products. But for now, if you go to cowboyjobu.com and you scroll down on the right, on the home page, you'll see products. There won't be pictures, it just says products. And you'll see listed shot glass rack and stuff. If you want one of the racks, click on the rack, okay? And it'll say shot glass rack, because you're like, well, where's the mug rack? It's not listed there yet. But what you're going to do is you click on that, and when you go through to check out, there's a section there for notes. Put in the notes how you want it painted up. If you wanted a two-face, so you say Cowboys two-face, Okay. Or Cowboys home whites. Okay, we're cool. And that way we'll be able to know what kind you want. Or I want a mug rack as opposed to the shot glass rack. So put that in the notes, and if there's any questions, I'll give you a buzz and call you back and try and figure it out. I've got one that I think somebody wants it to be done kind of like a quadrant. So it's like blue and silver and silver. I got to give you a call to make sure on that one. But other than that, friends, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. And I will talk to you guys later.